our morning rounds, new sunscreen ratings just in time for Memorial Day weekend. Consumer Reports tested 20 varieties, but recommends only 7. The FDA regulates sunscreen, but it leaves testing up to the manufacturers. Dr. Holly Phillips is here with what to look for in a sunscreen and why some of the newest choices are nearly impossible to find in this country. Dr. Holly Phillips, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
So Consumer Reports tested 20 sunscreens. What did they find?
So the way they tested, they basically compared what the bottles claimed with how well the product actually protected people from the sun. And only 2 of the products they looked at really lived up to the claims on the bottle. In fact, most of them had much less SPF protection than they claimed to, although they recommended 7. So SPF is really a measure of how well the product protects us from the UVB rays from the sun that cause sunburn, but it doesn't talk at all about UVA rays, which are more deeply penetrating and are a risk for skin cancer. So whenever you pick a product, look for the words broad spectrum because it'll protect you from both.
They're all over SPF 50, aren't they?
There are a lot of products that list greater than SPF of 50, but a higher number doesn't necessarily mean it's better. So, for instance, an SPF of 70 isn't double the protection of an SPF of 35. And in fact, there's been some talk, the FDA had considered at one point, of capping the claims that you can put on the bottle at 50 because it's giving people a false sense of security. If you have this SPF of 70, you feel like you can sit outside all day, and that's just not the case.
That is what I thought. I thought the higher the number, the better. And I think it's important to tell your cousins, and by that I mean people of color, that they should wear sunscreen too. I found out the hard way that we can burn just as easily. So you're saying don't always grab for the higher number? Is that what you're saying?
Right. It's not necessarily just about the higher number, but rather picking a very good product. Actually, the FDA doesn't test products once they are on the store shelves. They rely on the manufacturers to do that and be honest in their testing, with what the products are actually doing. And of course, manufacturers test under the best possible conditions. So the product may say SPF 35, but it means, if you put it on in a certain way and the sun just hits you at a specific time and you're not sweating or swimming or anything else.
Yeah, but bottom line, by someone who buys sunscreen by the case in my house and has family with skin cancer, use it liberally and often, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody.
It's about reapplying on a regular basis.
Everybody, yeah.
Got it, Dr. Holly.
Thank you.